Hello students, welcome to the video class for the subject Generation, Transmission and Distribution. This is for uh, 4th semester Diploma Electrical Engineering students. So today I am going to cover the topic. I am going to discuss about the insulators. So under this section we are discussing about the property of the insulating material, and then different types of insulators. Under the different types of insulators we covered pin type insulator, suspension type insulator, cycle type insulator, strain type insulator, etc. So these are the basic main types of insulators. So what is this insulator? See, the overhead line conductor should be supported on the poles or towers in such a way that current from conductor do not flow to earth through the support. See, this is a pole, this is a cross arm, and this is for example, see, this is one insulator, and through this insulator conductor is there. So insulator, so see, the overhead line conductor should be supported on the pole or tower in such a way that current from conductor do not flow to the earth through support. That means line conductors must be properly insulated from support. This is achieved by securing line conductor to support with the help of insulator. So see, this conductor is going through the insulator, and this is the pole, this is the cross arm. So here the conductor and in between the conductor and pole and cross arm there is one insulator. This is made up of insulating material. So this insulator act as a insulating medium in between pole and conductor. So there is no such direct contact in between conductor and pole. So due to the presence of this insulator, the current will not flow through the pole to the earth. Okay, so this is known as insulator. So the insulator provides necessary insulation between the line conductor and support. This is the support and this is the conductor. Okay, so the insulator provides necessary insulation between the line conductor and support, and thus prevent any leakage current from conductor to earth. So in general, these are the properties which should have in an insulator. What are the properties? High mechanical strength in order to withstand conductor load, wind load, etc. So this insulator should have high mechanical strength because it support what? Conductor, line conductor, and when there is a wind pressure in the conductor, this also supported by this insulator. That's why it should have high mechanical strength. Then high electrical resistance. Obviously it should require high electrical resistance to avoid leakage current to earth. Okay, high relative permittivity of insulator material in order that dielectric strength is high. Obviously if there is the need of dielectric strength, because due to this dielectric strength this prevent the breakdown in the air. Okay, so if for it require high relative permittivity for high dielectric strength, then the insulator material should be non-porous, free from impurity and crack. Okay, so this is the properties. See, it is free from impurity. Why it requires free from impurity? Because due to the presence of impurity, the insulating material property may reduce, and then if the insulating property may reduce, then current can flow through this material. That's why it should be non-porous, free from impurity, and it should be free from crack. Otherwise permittivity will be lowered. And then high ratio of puncture strength to flashover. High ratio of puncture strength to flashover. That means when there is flashover, it has a higher puncture strength. Means see, whenever a flashover is strike to the insulator, there will happen some puncture. Okay, so any insulating material should have high ratio of puncture strength to flashover. So then we will discuss about the different types of insulator. So depend on the different um, type, different structure. There are various types of insulators, that is pin type, suspension type, strain type and shackle type insulator. First we will discuss about pin type insulator. So in P type insulator what happens, see, the part section of a pin type insulator, this is shown here. This is the part section of the pin type insulator. So as the name suggests, the pin type insulator is secured to the cross arm. So I already told you, this is the pole, this is the cross arm, and here there is insulators are placed, okay, in the cross arm. So the pin type insulator is secured to cross arm. This portion is known as cross arm, okay. The pin type insulator is secured to cross arm on the pole. There is a groove on the upper end of the insulator. This is, see, there is a groove. This portion is the groove. So there is a groove on the upper end of the insulator for housing the conductor. So this is here showing, this is the groove. Under this, through this groove there is the housing of, this is the conductor, okay. So the conductor passes through this groove, is bounded by the annealed wire of the same material as the conductor. So here in this groove, the material surrounded in this groove is similar with the conductor material, okay. And then pin type insulator are used for transmission and distribution of electrical power and at voltage up to 33 kV. So beyond the 33 kV voltage, the pin type insulator become too bulky and hence uneconomical. That's why, so up to 33 kV this type of insulator is used. So see the cross-sectional view of the pin type. This is the, these are the, this is the steel, galvanized steel pin. These are the inside this, these are the cementing material, and this is known as shed or petticoat. This is this structure, this structure, this structure. These are called as sheds. Inside this, these are attached through the cementing, okay. These are constructed through cementing. Inside this there is a galvanized steel pin, okay. So causes of insulation failure. What are the causes of insulation failure? See, insulator required to withstand both electrical and mechanical stress. I already told you, mechanical stress means the wind pressure, electrical stress means the, when there is a happening of flashover due to the lightning, then there is a there must be electrical stress. So the mainly the electrical stress is primarily due to line voltage and may cause the breakdown of the insulator. Also, yes, line voltage, see, when there is a increase in the line voltage, when the line voltage exceeds to a certain value, to a certain limit, then there is cause of what? Breakdown of insulator. So the electrical breakdown of the insulator can occur either by flashover or puncture, okay. So in flashover what happens, see, in flashover an arc occur between the line conductor and insulator pin, that means earth. So see, this is the insulator pin, this shown here also, this is the insulator pin, this is the insulator pin, and this is the conductor. So flashover is like this, direct from conductor to the insulator pin through this air medium, okay. So here the air medium acts as a dielectric medium. So when the dielectric strength, the air medium is act as an insulating medium, but when the dielectric strength of this air medium is breakdown, then only flashover will happen. So in flashover what happen? Arc occur between the line conductor and insulator pin. So from this conductor, see, this is the pin and conductor is placed here. This is the conductor, or this is the conductor. Okay, this is the conductor. So from this to this, flashover is like a arc, like this. Okay, arc means it is a like a spark. Okay, so in flashover, an arc occur between the line conductor and insulator pin. That means pin means earth, because this insulator pin is attached to the pole, and the attached to the cross arm, and then pole is earth. So we can consider it as a earth. Okay, and the discharge jump across the air gap following shortest distance. Okay, so this is the shortest distance. This is A, this is B, this is C. Okay, so we can say here the arcing distance is A plus B plus C for the insulator. So in case of flashover, the insulator will continue to act in its proper capacity unless extreme heat produced by the arc destroy the insulator. So when there will be in flashover, the insulator can continue to act in its proper way till when, means whenever there is a arc, there is a higher amount of arc, then there is a extreme heat produced, and this extreme heat, what it does, it destroy the insulator. So till it reaches to the extreme heat, till that level, till that point, the flashover, in case of flashover, the insulator will continue to act in its proper capacity. Okay, so in case of puncture, what happens, that the discharge occurs from conductor to pin through the body of the insulator. So when such breakdown is involved, the insulator is permanently destroyed due to excessive heat. So in practice, sufficient thickness of porcelain is provided in insulator to avoid puncture by the line voltage. The ratio of puncture strength to flashover voltage is known as safety factor. Okay, so safety factor formula is puncture strength divided by flashover voltage. So what happens in puncture case? See, when there will be puncture, when the line voltage exceeds to a certain limit or certain value, then when there is a puncture, then current will flow through this porcelain material to the pin. Okay, through inside this, if there is a puncture, and in this case there is excessive heat formed inside this insulator material. Okay, insulator, and then the insulator may permanently damage. But in case of flashover, the arc is formed through this medium. The arc is jump from conductor to this pin, but in case of puncture, the current flow through this insulator. Okay, this is the difference. So here, in case of puncture, discharge occur from conductor to pin through the body of the insulator. So when such breakdown is involved, the insulator is permanently destroyed due to excessive heat. So the safety factor of insulator is puncture strength to flashover. This is the formula you have to remember. Then the next type is the suspension type insulator. So the cost of pin type insulator increases rapidly as the working voltage is increased. Okay, so therefore this type of insulator is not economical beyond 33 kV. So up to 33 kV we can use efficiently the pin type insulator, but beyond this voltage level, the pin type insulator is not economical. Okay, that's why for high voltage greater than 33 kV, suspension type insulator is used. So what is this suspension type insulator? Let's see. It consists of a number of porcelain discs connected in series by metal link in the form of string. So the conductor is suspended at the bottom end of this string, while the other end of the string is secured to the cross arm of the tower. Each unit of disc is designed for low voltage, say up to 11 kV. So the number of discs in series would obviously depend upon the working voltage. For instance, if the working voltage is 66 kV, then 6 discs in series will provided on that string. So suspension type structure is like this. See, this is the suspension type structure. Here this is the cross arm, and here the suspension type insulator is fixed, and under this is the conductor. Okay, here the conductor is suspended. That means see, it consists of a number of porcelain discs. These are the number of porcelain discs. This is one disc, this is second disc, this is third disc. Each disc contain up to withstand up to 11 kV voltage. So if we have 66 kV, then we need 6 discs connected in series and form one string. So here it consists of number of porcelain discs connected in series by a metal link in the form of a string. The conductor is suspended at the bottom end. So here see, the conductor is suspended in this diagram. This is the conductor is suspended, and here the number of discs are connected through metal link. This is the one metal link, this is another metal link. Okay, like this it can be extended to many numbers. Okay, so the conductor is suspended at the bottom end of the string, while the other end of the string is secured to the cross arm of the tower. So clearly understood about the suspension type insulator. So what are the advantages of this type of insulator? See, suspension type insulator are cheaper than pin type insulator for voltage beyond 33 kV, and each unit or disc of suspension type insulator is designed for low voltage, usually 11 kV. So depending upon the working voltage, the desired number of discs can be connected in series. If any one of the disc is damaged, the whole string does not become useless, because we can replace that faulty disc with the sound one. And the suspension arrangement provide greater flexibility to the line. Okay, so the connection at the cross arm is such that insulator string is free to swing in any direction. So if this is the insulator string, if this is the insulator string, then it can swing, and this is the conductor suspended over here. So this string, it can swing from this direction to this direction. That means if the position of the string is like this, then it can swing here also, it can swing there also. So in both the direction it can swing. Okay, so in case of it is free to swing in any direction, and that's why it has lower or minimum mechanical stress. Okay, so in case of increased demand on the transmission line, it is found more satisfactorily to supply the greater demand by raising the line voltage than to provide another set of conductor. Okay, so see, it is my one conductor. If the line voltage is increased, then what we do? We can extend another conductor through this, we can use another conductor. So rather than increasing the number of conductor, we can raise the voltage level. Okay, we can raise the voltage that obtained from the suspension arrangement by adding more number of discs. So if my working voltage is here 66 kV, but now if it is 132 kV, so for 132 kV we don't add extra conductor, we don't need to add extra conductor. What we do? So same 132 kV voltage is conducted through this one line conductor. So what we need to do? We need to extend this string number. We need to extend the disc in this string. Okay, by calculating, like for 66 kV we need 6 discs. Similarly for 132 kV we can calculate how many number of 11 kV discs are required. Okay, then the suspension type insulator are generally used with steel tower. Okay, normally it is used with steel tower, as the conductor run below the earth cross arm of the tower. Therefore this arrangement provides partial protection from lightning. Okay, so this also gives partial protection from lightning. The next type is the strain type insulator. So when there is a dead end of the line, or there is a corner or sharp curve. Corner means, see, the conductor are like this. This is the conductor, and this is here one tower. Okay, this is the tower. Okay, and now I and this is here also another tower. Okay, consider this is also one tower. So I now I want to extend these three conductors towards this direction. Okay, I want to change. Okay, so when there is a dead end of the line, or there is a corner, this form one corner. Okay, or sharp curve, the line is subjected to greater tension. So in order, so you remember, you just you can remember that, see, three conductor are connected in this. See, this is one pole over here. So I want to extend this conductor in this direction. Okay, in this direction. This is the corner or sharp curve. Okay, so in this case it is subjected to greater tension. So in order to relieve the line of excessive tension, strain insulator are used. Okay, for voltage less than 11 kV, Sackel insulator are used as strain insulator. But for high voltage transmission line, strain insulator consists of an assembly of suspension insulator are used. So the disc of strain insulators are used in vertical plane when the tension in line is exceedingly high, as at long in case of long river span, two or more string are used in parallel. Okay, so these are the kind of strain insulator, and the last one is the Sackel insulator. So for more than higher voltage, that means more than 11 kV, strain insulator are used, and below 11 kV, Sackel insulator are used. Okay, so the Sackel insulator were used as a strain insulator, but nowadays they are frequently used for low voltage distribution lines. Such insulator can be used either in horizontal position or in vertical position. Okay, so they can be directly fixed to the pole with a bolt, nut bolt. Okay, and to the cross arm. Okay, so here is the diagram of the Sackel type insulator. This is the Sackel type insulator. It is used for low voltage distribution lines. Okay, this is the pole, and this is the nut bolt. This is the bolt. This is also one bolt connected over here, and in this section, this is the Sackel insulator is connected through this bolt, and this whole section is attached to the pole through this bolt. Clear? Understood? So, and this is the strain type insulator connected like this. I already told you. So in the previous in the previous, you see the strain type insulator like this. This is one strain type insulator. You can also call it as a suspension type insulator, but this suspension type when attached like this form strain type insulator. Okay, now you clearly understood about the types of insulator. Okay, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of this type of insulator. In the next class we will discuss about the sag in overhead line. Okay, so thank you all.